with Piers Morgan and Susanna Reid.
Well, good morning, Brendan. It's 6 o'clock. Welcome to the programme. Happy Monday.
Yeah, happy Monday. Terrible, terrible news over the weekend, that attack in Reading on Saturday.
Well, once again, we wake up to the same sort of headlines, don't we? After so many of these, you know, known to MI5, came over here as serious questions.
And, of course, the Prime Minister, when he gave his interview in the wake of this, said if lessons need to be learned after what happened, that devastating attack in the park in Reading, then those lessons would be learned. But
these are lessons that we keep being told we're going to learn. I mean, if you remember, after the previous attacks of this nature, we had the same speeches, didn't we? The one down in Streatham where you were.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing each time, isn't it? And it looks again like somebody has sort of slipped through the system cracks and has been, you know, clearly angry. We don't know why, what the exact motivation was, but has slipped through the system.
So a minute's silence is going to be held in Reading as a show of respect to the victims. 3 people, of course, killed in that terror attack. One of them, a teacher, 36-year-old Jamesfurlong, who was head of history and government and politics at the Holt School in Wokingham, described by his family as a wonderful man.
I mean, just imagine, you're in the park. It's a sunny day. You're with friends, family.
Lockdown has been eased, so it's perhaps the first time you've been able to go out
There's been a big
be with other people.
Black Lives Matter protest there early in the day, very peaceful, no incidents. Yep. That had all ended a few hours before. There's no connection between the two, as far as anyone is aware. And there's a teacher, you know, a popular, beloved teacher, who's dead. Well, Nick Dixon is in Reading.
Yes, Boris Johnson is expected to announce tomorrow that the 2-metre social distancing rule is relaxed. Our chief correspondent, Richard Gay.
And people wonder why we've got the worst coronavirus death rate in the world right now and the worst excess death toll in Europe. It's because the people running the country literally have no idea about things like taking the knee and what it implies. And by the way, I don't care if Dominic Raab does it.
No.
Right, he turned it immediately into, I don't think I should have to be... No one's telling you have to do it, Dominic Raab.
Well, he was being asked the question, would
you want to take the knee just to your missus, as you put it, or the Queen, that's entirely a matter for you. But what you should do, as the Foreign Secretary, is at the very least understand why most people around the world that we're seeing understand this and you don't. We all knew what this meant. Game of Thrones. I mean, unbelievable.
One of the people, a particular hero of Piers and mine, Ian Wright, spoke out very powerfully on his own experience of racism. It was pretty shocking. Have a look at this. A former top aide to President Donald Trump says he hopes history will remember him as a one-term president. An interview. Well, we're only a few months away, aren't we, from the election?
Yeah.
I just wonder whether he's right, whether he's going to be a one-term president or whether a rally like last night, I know there were only a few thousand people there and not the million that apparently had applied for tickets. And we understand... Well,
it worked. Now, the Trump administration is vehemently denying that's the reason. They're putting it down to fears of COVID-19. 6 of the Trump campaign team who'd been down there in the previous week all tested positive hours before it should go. So the whole thing was a total fiasco. But interesting, isn't it, that young people mobilised themselves. And what they definitely did, indisputably, was they created an impression that 1 million people wanted to go because they'd all bombarded these lines. And, of course, that wasn't the truth at all. So Trump, having set the bar at 1 million, then delivered about 6,000 people turned up. Which for Trump, as we know, given the way he reacted to the inauguration crowds, that's his Achilles heel.
Apparently his temper tantrum was 15 out of 10.
Yeah, I would have thought it'd be nearer 19.
Yeah, ouch. But I do wonder whether... You know, because he then gave a 2-hour speech, didn't he? And
here's how he may win.
Right.
It's called this. It's called the V.
Is it the economy?
Trump has put everything on the V. In other words, he's completely unlocked America now, which may have a disastrous effect on public health. We're already seeing huge infection rates. They are testing more people. To put it into some context.
Although he said in his speech, he's asked his officials to stop testing so many people because he thinks the more people you test, the more positive cases you get.
Which is true. I mean, that is a true statement. I think to be fair to the president, I think he was joking there. He shouldn't be joking about that kind of thing, but he was joking. But I think there's no doubt the more tests you do, the more cases you're going to find. But there's also no doubt America is currently finding more cases than anywhere in the world. And I
think the reason that you've got more cases is because the infection rate's going up.
Yeah, although, I mean, it is a fact, isn't it, that if you test more people, you find more cases.
Well,
we know here, for example,
the rate should be going.
Yeah, but we know,
down,
for example, that we know that even though they say we've had, I don't know, was it 250,000 cases, whatever it is here at the moment, we know the real figure is likely to be several million. We just haven't tested enough people to know, right?
Yeah.
So there is a logic
There's
to
a
what
sort of brutal logic to it. But
what he says,
Hillary,
what he says is
the
right.
rate be going
What he says is
down?
right, but it's obviously